Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Royal Production. Now let's get right into this news I have for you guys today. But before we do that, let's take a look at these markets. So Bitcoin sitting at 81,000, Ethereum sitting at 2,300, Tether sitting at 189 billion, XRP at 140. Now, if you guys want to see the rest of these, pause it. All right, moving on. Okay, so this is going to be a big week. So starting off today, Tuesday, is the first day of Consensus Miami Day. And we're going to go through that in a little bit so we can see what's happening. Oh, whoa. See, this is what happens if you got money. You can just wear whatever. I don't know if this is a chain link fence. It looks good, though. It looks good. Go ahead. Do your thing, Hayes. All right, moving on. Okay, the next article I have for you guys today is State Street and Galaxy launch tokenized fund to bring cash management on chain. All right. Next article is Coinbase cuts 14% of staff as AI reshapes how crypto companies operate. Western Union officially rolls out USDPT stablecoin on Solana blockchain. So we gotta keep our eyes on Solana. All right, we'll go through this in a minute. All right, DTCC reveals launch plans for tokenized service with Wall Street giant Onboard. So this is going to be onboard 114 trillion. All right, we covered some stuff in the other days about this onboarding. So this information is not more or less for seasoned OG vets. Okay, this is for people who are onboarding, who are becoming aware of crypto, what's a real world asset, and even all these terminologies that come with this new infrastructure. And it's crazy because I was listening to something over the week, and personally, from my thing, I went to the horse track. I love horses, you know what I mean? It's the thoroughbreds, just I love them. The strong animals, the majestic. Anyways, long story short is there's a lot of terminologies with horse racing that people don't understand, like the term thoroughbred, like the term furlough, you know what I mean? The track and how long it is, and things of that nature. So it's exactly the same way with anything, and cryptocurrency is one of those things where it's like there's so many things that, like a tokenization, like what does that even mean? If you're aware of this stuff, then you know what it is, but if you're not, that's why we're here. Okay, if you guys have any questions, check out the description down below. Also, just drop a comment or even use ChatGPT to help you along this path. But I'm here to cover articles and get into the news. So let's move on to the next thing I have for you. So Coinbase taps Centrifuge as preferred tokenized backbone and takes equity stake. So basically, it's a new partnership, and we're gonna go through this right now. Okay, coming up next. First thing I have for you guys today was the Consensus Miami Day one. So basically, I'm not going to cover the article too much. We're going to go straight to the website so you guys can see exactly what it is. It will be linked down below so you guys can find it and do your own research. Remember, this is all about doing your own research and becoming your own bank, becoming your own personal savior. No one's here to save you. I drop information and this is for entertainment, looking at the future and what it could hold. You know what I mean? So it's all about you and your due diligence. Okay. So moving on, I just want to cover some of the speakers, so you can go down here, view all speakers, and you guys can just go through this list, preferably from top to bottom to see who's more important. But there are some good hitters down here. Arthur Hayes, of course, you know what I mean? We got a whole bunch of people. The co-CEO of Kraken, and we just covered some news about Kraken the other day. So this is huge. So Ripple, of course, I don't have to mention. You see this person, these two people next to each other. Come on now, look at these faces. Like, this says a lot. Body language says a lot. Come on. So it's like, let's be real. If you walk into a room and trying to make a deal with someone with money, would you rather meet this face or this face? I'm just saying, you know what I mean? I'm moving on. We're gonna look at I believe the days and what it covers really quick. Let me grab it for you guys. So basically, day one is going to be crypto at scale. I believe 2 is institutional integration, and then 3, of course, is agentic commerce. So yeah, check this website out, look at it, and understand that this is one of the biggest meetings of the year when it comes to like these type of things: institutional integration, crypto, and then of course agents and AI. Of course, if you guys know what agents are, that's AI basically. So moving on, next article I have for you guys is State Street and Galaxy launches tokenized fund to bring cash management on chain. So we cover this yesterday, where it's like you have these two separate worlds, and I like to equate this to Age of Aquarius. You have two separate lines. You have the money line, lower level, and then you have the upper level, which is blockchain, AI, and all that technology. They're both going to be here in the world for a while. I think that there are these two separate worlds colliding into one. You're going to have people who want to stick to fiat, to stick to the lower base things, and then you have people who want to stick to the higher, faster rate. It's just like your frequency, like what are you operating at? That's the way I see this. So it's just like the age when debit cards came out. Nobody wanted a debit card back then. Now everybody wants a debit card. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, well, I'm not gonna say everyone, some people just don't like it, but at the end of the day, pay attention to who these big partners on, what they're building on, and maybe, you could, not saying set yourself up for the future, not, financial advice, but there are some things like you can see here. I highlighted it for those who are watching, but I'm just say it because some of y'all don't be looking at the screen sometimes. But starting on Solana, expanding to Ethereum and Stellar. So if you know that these big players are moving into blockchain, situations, then look at these situations: Solana, Ethereum, Stellar, right? Okay, moving on. All right, Coinbase cuts 14% of staff as AI reshapes how crypto companies operate. So you have to understand that these crypto companies understand that they don't need workers anymore. They have worker bees already, and that's their AI. When we're moving into a different infrastructure to the point where the middleman is cut out, and we've seen that happen right away with Robinhood. If you guys were around on Robinhood and aware of when Robinhood came out, that was the biggest thing that dang there cut the middle broker out of the picture. So that means no more fees for the middle broker. So you have to understand that with this whole idea of a level playing field, that's a multi-standard like phrase. Like we like to say, oh, level playing field. No, it's levels to levels. You get me? Like once you pass a different level, there's another level you have to pass. So once they hit that level playing field, there's going to be a next level they all have to start playing on. So understand that, I'm not the type of person to sow fear and doubt. I'm just so aware that if I know companies are cutting staff because of AI, then why not look into some of these companies that build AI? Why not look into some of the precious metals that these AI and these robots have to be built with? You know what I mean? So it's like, instead of fighting it and trying to be like, oh no, you can't fight this. You cannot fight what's coming. The only thing you can do is position yourself in a good position for the future, and that's it. You can't take down these titans. It's not going to happen. Okay. Anyways, moving on. Another titan in the game. I'm just going to scroll down here so you guys can read this. 175-year-old money. Okay, understand this. Western Union has been doing the same thing damn there for 175 years. And basically, what did they just do? They officially rolled out their own stablecoin. They understand the trajectory and how much money can be, made with this new infrastructure. It's not about just cutting fees. It's all about liquidity. And if you have more liquidity in the game, you're a bigger player. Okay. So basically, USDPT reinforces Western Union's role as a global payment platform by integration regulated digital dollar directly into our network. We're creating a more effective settlement layer that supports partners, agents, and future consumers' use cases, all while preserving the trust and scale of our define our brand. So you got to understand, like, they wouldn't have made this move if it hurt their brand. Okay. Point blank, period. Now, I'm not, you don't go out there and invest in stable coins. That's not what I'm saying. Understand who and where these stable coins are being held at, or the issuer of them, or even the partner of them. Okay. Moving on. It's Solana, by the way. You see this? Solana. If you don't know, I don't know where you've been. All right, moving on. DTCC reveals launch plan for tokenized service with Wall Street giant Onboard. I always have to read these slowly because there's so many alphabets, and it's like sometimes I'd be just blurting off letters, so I got to become more aware of it. So anyways, they're rolling in 114 trillion in securities. So if you don't know what securities are basically securities. Okay, it's hard to explain if you're not aware of it, but basically securities are anything that is regulated that is also real money. So a security is something that's actually audited and going through all the scrutiny and stuff like that. But basically the DTCC plans to support initial limited production trades of tokenized real world assets in July. So when we talk about all this BS with the Clarity Act, these big banks, these institutions, these people are already playing ball. They are already on the court. They're playing the game while everyone else is sitting back waiting for clarity. Do we not see that? Like every day we cover articles of new giants coming in and working with DTCC, I did it again, and 50 financial firms spanning TradeFi and crypto. Like, are we really waiting on the Clarity Act? I think we are, but at the end of the day, behind closed doors, we're not. That's the way I see it. They keep pushing it down the line. It was supposed to be done in April. It was supposed to be done in May. Now, with them pushing this into July, it makes me think that maybe the Clarity Act is going to be pushed back. I'm not saying that this is connected to the Clarity Act. I'm saying that these big people, Western Union, they might be finding loopholes around it, but at the end of the day, I think that behind closed doors, it's already been certified. Just like Ripple has nothing to do with the Clarity Act. Ripple in itself is already not a security. Okay, so the writing's on the wall. It's just, are you going to be distracted by the hands? Are you going to be distracted by the wizard behind the curtain? And for me and for us here, we're not doing that. Okay, moving on. Okay, Coinbase taps Centrifuge as a preferred tokenized backbone. Again, here's another thing, like we just said. So basically, Centrifuge was selected as Coinbase preferred tokenized infrastructure, making the default issuance layer for assets across Coinbase ecosystem, including Base. So they're expanding, like I said. We have to understand something about this new future of finance. The law, unless we start getting artificial intelligence to write law, it's not going to be able to keep up with the infrastructure. And I'm telling you guys that now. You heard it here now. Okay? Unless we get AI to start writing law, we are not, as a society, going to be able to keep up with the infrastructure of technology when it's in a realm of technology. Our financial system is now technology. They go hand in hand. You can't have one without the other in this new system. If you don't have the technology, you're not going to have the financial layer or backbone. So like I said, our infrastructure as a country, as lawmakers, has to be integrated into this technology. It has to. So when we talk about AI judges, AI policemen, robots, dogs, all this stuff, it's happening. It's going to, because the vibration of our financial system is also expanding. So everything else is going to it's going to leak into everything else. Basically, I don't know how to put it into words. It's more or less a feeling and a sight within my mind where it's like chess. Like, what are the options next? Like, we can't go backwards unless we go into like a war. Then we can go backwards. We can go back into sticks and stones, but we're not moving that direction. I think we're moving forward. This whole chaos of war and stuff, it's all a smoke screen. This Clarity Act and stuff, smoke screen. You get me? All these big players are meeting, smoke screens. You have people from the Senate here. You get me? All right. Like, come on now. But anyways, I appreciate you guys being here. If you guys can, hit the like, subscribe, and even share this content with other people who might enjoy it. My name is Louis, and I appreciate y'all. Peace.